Hi everyone, I'm Rensler with Conquer Gaming Lounge, and we're back with 5 more tips to be a better fighter in Chivalry 2. Number 1, blocking. Blocking is incredibly important. You need to block the attacks from your enemies. You will die so much more if you are not blocking. You can press and hold block. You can do that. It will drain your stamina, but you can do it. Blocking is important. So even if you start with that and you run around the battle holding block, that is a start, and we will go with it. And that brings us to number 2, hitting those parries. If you block at the right moment, which is right before the opponent's weapon hits your shield or your sword or whatever weapon it is you're holding, you can block them so well, the system calls it a parry, and it puts in a riposte segment right after that, meaning that they're staggered just a little bit. There's a little bit of a pause on their side, which gives you an opening to hit them. Now, it's possible for a good opponent to be able to block your response to your good block. This has happened before. That's fine. It will help you in battle. Parrying will make sure that you can block without eating that stamina hit, and that's what parrying does. It's blocking without a stamina cost. And if you get a successful block, a parry on that first person, and you have 2 people attacking you, the game gives you an excellent chance of also blocking that second attack. So when you have multiple attackers, you've just increased the chances of blocking multiple people and winning that battle. Number 3, kicking. Kicking is a big deal when you're fighting someone one-on-one and you just keep going back and forth and blocking each other's attacks. Even if you keep parrying their attacks and they parry yours, if you can get them into a sense of blocking, then you can kick them out of the block. So whatever button it is for kicking, make sure you look it up in your control section there. I leave mine as default, so mine is F. And I will run in on somebody, I will swing on them on purpose. I want them to see me swinging. They'll block the first one, I will block theirs, maybe not, and I will hit them again. I let them try to block me, and then I will immediately advance and I will kick them. Because I'm expecting them to block, they're expecting me to swing, therefore they are blocking, I kick them out of the block, and that opens them up for a big hit from me. I normally use a horizontal swing after that. It increases my chances of hitting them. I could go for an overhead, but if my weapon is too slow, they'll be able to block that too, and the entire bonus, the advantage I got from kicking them, is gone. It just doesn't work. It doesn't matter. So always, if you can get someone into a lull of just automatically blocking your attacks, kick them. Number 4, throwing things. Throwing things at your enemy is awesome because A, they're not really expecting it. B, even if they block it, especially if you're throwing things like boulders, they will take damage. And C, it's just fun. I normally play archer, so I'm normally throwing things at opponents anyway in forms of either spears, my crossbow, or my normal bow and arrow, and that's what I pick most, is just the typical bow. But if you're any class at all, including an archer, you can just throw things at them. So as a knight, my favorite thing to throw at other enemies, my shield. So if I'm back and forth and I'm hitting them and they block it and they hit me and I block it, and maybe they're expecting the kick, no. Don't even do that. Just hit G and throw your shield at their head. They're not expecting it, and they always take damage from it. Now, if they manage to parry that, they can take 0 damage. Otherwise, they will automatically take damage, and if your shield is not destroyed, if the stamina of the shield is above a certain point, you can throw it at them, knock them off guard, have somebody else hit them or whatever, and go pick up your shield again. You can pick up that shield as many times as you can throw it without destroying it. And you can just keep throwing it at people. I've seen footage of people throwing the same shield like 10 times. So I'll put something up on the screen now for you that demonstrates this. But throwing a shield at people and then smashing them over the head with a sword and picking it up after you've won the battle, that's satisfying. That's awesome. That's a lot of fun. So remember to throw things. Number 5, dodging. One of the better ways of improving yourself as a fighter is looking for those overheads and recognizing those overheads, especially for people with the pole arms or the ones that have the really long pole with the axe head on the end. It's pretty obvious during their animation that they're going for an overhead. You can hit left or right, A or D, and if you have enough stamina, and this is important, if you have enough stamina, hit A and your spacebar or D and your spacebar, and you will juke out of the way. Because, like I said in the first video, this is a physics-based game. It's a physical object-based game, which means their axe is only so wide, their weapon is only so wide, and if they're swinging it vertically, especially, and you juke them off to one side, it's not going to hit you. It's not. If you're standing right in front of them, and they're standing right in front of you, and they go for an overhead, and you juke to the side, the game engine's not going to derp out and let them hit you. They will miss. This is big because if you've got someone just kind of YOLO swinging in a horizontal pattern, I see it often, and they're coming in your direction, your general direction, trying to swing at just anything that's around that's moving, regardless of what color it is, you can use that juke, that A, D plus the space bar, that dodge move, and possibly get out of the way. I've been able to use that, and you can also do this backwards. It works with S as well. It also works backwards, so that's important. If you got somebody that's trying to run at you and they have a pole arm and they're trying to do the stab motion, which by default is mouse wheel scroll up, you can possibly hit S and the space bar. Now you will jump back. That will happen if you have enough stamina. You might be able to get yourself out of that range, is the point I'm making. Maybe not. If they're too close, doesn't matter. You cannot dodge out of their range in one shot backwards. So whenever anybody has a really long weapon, especially if they're trying a stab, especially if they're trying an overhead, if you juke to either side, that is really going to help you. So learn to block, learn to parry, learn to dodge, be happy throwing things, because just throwing things is just fun. Alright, so that was 5 more tips for being a better fighter at Chivalry 2. I'll come back with more as I keep playing the game, as I keep capturing the footage for these videos, but this is what I wanted to give you this time. So thanks and have a great day.